Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fate Podcast, where we discuss film, anime, television, and other forms of entertainment. I'm your host, Elijah, and we also have my co-host here, Sam. Say what's up.
What's up?
And I hope everyone is doing great. Thank you for joining our podcast. But before we start the review, we always start with a recommendation. And don't worry, guys, I have a recommendation for you guys. It's really good. I have a good one. One of my recommendation is College Behind Bars. Now it's on Netflix. And College Behind Bars is where you have inmates do college, in prison and stuff like that. And I think it's really good, and I support prisoners being in college or doing college work and get college credit while they're behind bars. And I think you can see like another perspective of what they had to deal with and what come out of it. I think is really positive, even though you have a lot of people that disagree with that. They feel like if you're in prison, you should only be in prison to get punished, and we don't need to spend our tax dollars on prisoners getting college degrees and whatnot. Which they go into that where we used to do that, get our tax dollars to have these inmates get college degrees, but we cut that. So now only private companies handle that type of work. So it's really interesting to see. And I just want to encourage you guys to watch it if you want to watch this. It's only 4 episodes long, about like 50 minutes, but it's really good and really good on the insight at the prison and also about like colleges as well. And that's probably one of the biggest as far as prison reform I will support. And obviously I agree with prison reform, but like that's probably the top of my list of having this prisoners getting college degrees. But yeah, check it out. It's on Netflix.
Dang. I hadn't heard of that, but like, no, I totally agree with you. I think it's a good thing to have prisoners do that because, dude, they need something to do.
Mm-hmm.
If the whole point is to rehabilitate them, then getting them educated and teaching them a skill or even giving them therapy, that's besides the point, but just giving them education to kind of help them correct the course of their life. I mean, oh no, how could that be a bad thing?
No, they said, no, trust me, people are dumb. So the argument is like, oh, we're not using our tax dollars to pay for that, or they're supposed to be in prison to get punished, not to get a college degree, so that's their stupid argument for it. So
fair enough. Well, I think the recommendation I'd like to give out tonight is on Hulu, and it is Wu-Tang. The Wu-Tang show. Oh my God, I can't. It's like an American Saga. That's what it is. Wu-Tang, an American Saga. The whole, I guess like it's not like a biopic because it's a series, but it's biographical, and I'm pretty sure even like Wu-Tang is like on the project where like they consult and like share like their upbringing and how they came together and formed this group. And I watched the first season. I think it came out last year. Absolutely amazing. Really, really good. And season 2 just came out yesterday, and it was a 3-episode premiere. I haven't watched any of them yet, but it is so good, especially if you're a fan of them. Even if you're not, it's a very compelling story. And I mean, you just get to see what it was, I guess a sort of sense of like what it was like for them growing up and trying to get into this industry. And like, it's just kind of amazing because, if you listen to their music, they're incredibly smart. All of them are incredibly smart people. And to kind of see them going through that whole frustrational period when, you're in that like young adult to like being an adult stage, like the 18 to like 21 zone, like them just trying to figure it out. And like, I don't know, it's just very inspiring. awesome, and it was just really cool to learn about all of the members of Wu-Tang and their lives.
Yeah, well, that's good. Like, no, I haven't really. I know of them, but I haven't really listened to all of their music. But that's a good thing to check out. Yeah, man. If you want to watch what Sam recommend or what I recommend, give it a shout out. And give it a watch and comment below if you enjoyed um watching one of our recommendations. Yeah. So we're gonna start the show. Well, actually, we're gonna begin to review, the movie that just came out, Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. Now, I did something that you're not supposed to do at the movie theaters. Is and y'all probably gonna hate me on this. Is I fell asleep as I was watching the movie.
Oh no.
Yeah, terrible, terrible. So I'm gonna try to give you the actually be honest, I was in and out of sleep. Like I wasn't, I caught a couple things here and there, but oh wow. And I wasn't about to like go to the movies to rewatch that wait until on Disney Plus, but I can still give you my opinion about the movie. Um, you know, I think from what I watched, I liked it a lot. I like the fighting, I like the choreography. The beginning of the movie started off like if you ever watched uh martial arts Asian movie where they're like the way they fight and the way they carry themselves as they're fighting with them, when they punching each other or kicking, they're kind of like floating in the air. They took that from Marvel, took that from the how Asian movies are created when they have that martial arts. So I kind of like how they put that into this movie, to give kind of like um I reckon, them recognizing like, hey, we see you or we like that type of style. Um, you know, Aquafina was funny. Um,
Super funny.
Sim Yu Liu, is that how you pronounce his name?
Was it the video said it's Simu Liu?
Yeah, Simu Yu. What? Sorry, I'm sorry, Simu Liu. But I think he was a perfect Shang Chi. And I think he did well as far as like being himself and bringing this character to life.
I love this movie from the top down. It like when it was all said and done, my takeaway was I think this was Marvel's best. Like this, they've perfected the formula of a origin movie. I felt like maybe not perfected, but I mean, really, really
Yeah,
great.
come close.
Like, out of all, yeah, it's like come full circle of like, okay, now they got the origin story down. Like they can give you a rockin' origin movie to get you excited about the character, rather than kind of just like serving you a film to fulfill a need of like something else. But of course, people still loved him. But I just really thought it was well done. I completely agree. Simu Liu was like an amazing Shang-Chi, super great character. Aquafina had me rolling most of that movie. Probably the most logical like side character ever, where literally she just hears choices that they make and was just like, why are you doing that? Or like, how he changed his name from Shang to Sean.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? It is just like, finally, like we have a character that's just like making these connections that the audience makes. And you're just always kind of like, why don't they say that? But finally she was just saying those things. And I agree with you. I like the beginning just because what kind of I just was making myself chuckle, and I thought like, because it has subtitles at the start. I was just like, oh, how many people do you think are going to complain that they had to read at the start of the movie? Like, get over it. It's good.
Yeah.
It was just really cool to kind of see them set the stage of like this man, Wenwu, Shang-Chi's father, of finding the 10 rings and showing his rise to power. And I found that really interesting, and I thought it was very, I don't know, it was just very different, kind of the same. You know, it resembles some other fathers of the MCU, I guess, like Ego, who's like an eternal being and stuff like that. But like, it was still different because he was very human. You know, he was an internal being because he has these extra things, but he was still human at the end of the day. And like, you know, this guy that all wanted power, it was really interesting to see that you know, this woman, he falls in love with her, and this is the woman that changes his life. But of course, we all saw coming that she would be gone somehow, and he would revert back to these old ways of being like this low-key like dictator or something, and then ingratiate his kids into that, and see how that affects them later on and stuff like that. But yeah, all around, it was a fun time, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, see, I watched, the beginning started off great, again, action, and especially when Shang-Chi, when he became fighting in the bus, and that was incredible. What I was awake for all of that, the beginning. Once I start dozing off, when they were trying to enter the place where they think their mom were, and they're traveling to the forest. And then once they start talking and you get kind of the history, that's when I start dozing off. So the history aspect, like, I'm kind of clueless on that, because I was like in and out of sleep. Now, this is why I won't go with my freaking brother to movies, because I skipped kind of the beginning of the movie, because I went with my brother and we kind of went late. So as far as how when the father got the rings, I kind of don't understand that, how he got it.
So you actually don't even see him get the rings.
Oh, he's okay.
He has them already. All it says is like, as it's like showing you him with them, and like kind of taking over these, what looks to be like sort of ancient civilization.
I saw that part.
Yeah. So like that whole thing where it just kind of just says like there was a story of a man who like discovered these rings that I think it, if I remember correctly, they might have said out of the sky. I don't know. Maybe something out of the sky or something, but like we can connect to that later, as because the whole thing is they completely changed what the 10 rings were. The 10 rings were literally like rings that went around the finger that had different sort of like elemental powers, but they changed it to those bracelets because they were worried too many people would just be like, oh, it's just the infinity stuff. You know what I mean? So like, you know,
that's
they would just be like,
interesting.
oh, it's just the infinity gauntlet, or like those things, you know. And
That is interesting how they did that.
I do think so, but like I don't know. I think it might be a better idea that they went the route of these bracelets, just because it does kind of feel like if they went rings, people are just going to be like, it's more the same. So like, it was cool that they went a completely different.
No, I agree. I didn't mind that. And to be honest, I think the rings has more power than the dad was actually using. So it's going to be good to see what Shang-Chi is going to do with those rings, as far as like in his next movie, or whenever he pops up in another MCU story.
Yeah, I have a gut feeling he might, but like we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Now so the villain was the big monster, correct?
Yeah, I guess it essentially was that, but you know,
it was his dad, then it kind of transferred to his villain, right? Actually, before we even touch on the villain, we can touch on the plot, like as far as like
Sure.
him trying to stop his dad from messing up the whole world, and realizing his mom is really dead and won't come back. How you feel about like the plot of the story or of the movie?
I thought it I thought it was really good, and I thought it was compelling, honestly, just because that's kind of like the whole hero archetype, right? Having some sort of tragedy within the family. And I thought it was interesting that the dynamic of it all, and they rooted it with, sort of within Asian culture, it kind of feels like, but I
I
could be
did.
completely wrong. I'm just a white guy. But they have that whole family dynamic where, everything is great. It was good. And, all of a sudden it just wasn't. And that's kind of the whole thing, is you're trying to figure that in the background as to like what happened. But you just know that because of that, the dad could not, like, literally, like, he couldn't deal with his own self. You know what I mean? Like, he couldn't deal with what actually happened. So he dug further into the only thing he ever knew before that, which was the rings. And um ultimately causing his son and his daughter to kind of fall into this life of just learning how to be a living killing machine, basically, and forcing his 14-year-old son to go kill the guy that killed his own mother, which was so messed up. It was very Black Widow of them to do
Oh yeah.
something like that. But you kind of understand where teenage or 14-year-old Shang-Chi is coming from, and making that choice, because 8 years of his life, he was just, everything was good. And when it suddenly wasn't, and his dad became this guy that
His old self, yeah.
his old self, this guy who couldn't even recognize, really, he would do anything to get his father to just notice him, and give him that like love or support that he was like seeking. So like he would just do anything the man said, and you get that, and ultimately you get why he decides to run away from that. And of course, by doing so, him not even realizing, because he was 14 years old, he abandoned his sister.
Yeah.
And that's such a heartbreaking thing. But like, I don't know, ultimately I just thought the plot was just really good. I know, again, it was kind of the whole family thing, but
It's all about family. It's always about
it's all
family.
about family.
No, I
But
think,
like,
yeah.
this is kind of their thing. But it was good, dude. It had this great world building aspect to all of it. Like, it kind of felt like it was world building again, even though it was in the Marvel universe. And like, but yeah, I just love the plot.
No, yeah, I agree. The plot was good. It wasn't, again, I ain't fall asleep because it was a boring movie. It's, I don't know, I just dozed off a little bit.
Dad
But
life.
what I've seen, it was pretty good, and I'm definitely the type of movie I'm definitely gonna watch again to keep my eye out and watch it like from beginning to end. But for the most part, yeah, it was typically engaging, especially the fighting scene, bro, was really well done. Um,
Yeah,
and
dude, you mentioned the bus, and like, I love that part, just because that dude who has the, like,
yeah,
really
the
raised
sword,
with the
yep,
arm. Here's my question though: is that dude a mutant?
doesn't look like it. I thought it was just like he lost his arm, and his dad had all the technology. He got a new one. I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah,
I thought it was more robotic
ask
than
of
like,
him to have that.
yeah, yeah. I thought it was more robotic than him having powers to do that.
You make a good point.
Yeah. Now we can go back to the villain. like again, the villain was that I don't even know what we call it. The not the dragon, but that creature that takes people's souls away. Um, how you feel about that being the villain? Because with me, you know, a lot of times, sometimes Marvel, in a lot of cases, don't really have good villains. I think the dad was a perfect type of villain, but you know, he also had to redeem himself towards the end, which I probably knew that was going to happen. So we needed actual like a bad person that they were able to face. I feel like in a way, I probably wanted him to fight more of a person than like this um evil thing that is able to take, you know, people's spirits away or souls away. That's for me. That's my one critic about that movie.
Fair enough. I honestly, I kind of agree with you to an extent, but for me, I feel like, yeah, you know, you as this dad story goes on, it felt very much like one of those things again when Marvel hits the mark with their villain. You're kind of like, I'm kind of on your dad's side a bit. Like, I get it. Yeah, he's going too far, but I'm with your dad because, you know, with the whole twist of like, you know, of he was really being talked to by that thing behind that
Mm-hmm.
dragon scale door.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, yeah, that makes sense. He's a victim too. Like, he's not actually a bad guy. Like, I mean, he's lived for thousands of years. Yeah, at one point he was kind of a bad dude. But in the end, like that, his wife changed him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a good man. He is a good man. And so, like, just knowing that he's just a victim himself of this whole of his own grief, really. And you know, you really feel for him and understand why he would do to like really be blinded by what's going on because he just wanted to see his wife, or he just wanted to be with his wife again. And it, you know, it's heartbreaking. And like that's what I especially liked at the end of Shang-Chi with the battle between his dad, because
Oh no, that
he
was good.
he initially goes into it and is like, I gotta kill him. But he gets it all of a sudden. Like he understands, like, no, I can't do that to my dad. That's my dad. And right now, he's just not seeing what's in front of him. He's lost it at this point.
Yeah.
He understands that. And I thought that was really great, a great moment for that to be understood. Because, you know, they could have easily just been like, I'm gonna kill you. And like, you know, they could have just had them end it. And then like it would be some redemption with a last breath, and then they would regret it. But no, they went a better route where they kind of were able to some sort of way to like resolve it and have an understanding as he died.
Yeah. And like, you know, the dad giving him the 10 rings, you know. So that was kind of like that moment was okay, you know, you're my son. I'm supposed to protect you, not try to kill you, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a good moment as well. And like, again, it's an origin story. I get it. They probably can't get everything right. I'm just happy that the character is there. I'm really happy the character is there. There's
Yes,
more.
they killed it there,
Yeah,
dude.
there's more to the character. So I can't wait until they start exploring that. You know,
Absolutely.
um, you know, we kind of glimpse of, you know, they kind of name drop a couple things about like, you know, Earth being gone, well, half the planet being gone. Wu from Doctor Strange was there a couple times,
Oh, you
which
mean
was
Wong?
pretty cool. Wong, sorry, Wu, Wong, was there, um, and now he's going to be part of the, you know, the Avengers, because we saw at the end where he, you know, he got him and start talking how the rings is a beacon and is calling for something. I just don't know what.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. So like
Yeah.
that's again, so that's why I thought it was so cool that they changed it, which of course I didn't find out to the end, but like
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a great change when I'd found out because I was like, oh no, that's way tighter. They're setting it up for like this whole phase now. That's awesome. And so I don't know if you know, but apparently the theories out there is that it's connecting to what's going to happen in Eternals.
I believe so.
So because like they said that there's something being called out to, or all that energy in that trailer, they said it brought back those deviants, is what I think
Mm-hmm.
they called them.
So you
And
think is like a one of the deviant items or eternal items? Because that's the thing though.
I don't know, dude, but you know what? Now that you just said, if it's an internal item, the color scheme that was coming out of it kind of looks like the color scheme that comes out of the people's hands and their
Mm-hmm.
eyeballs. Hold up.
Because
Because,
like,
yeah, they said it. He had it for 1,000 years, right?
and
They
then
said She said it was older than that.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
So I think,
that
oh,
really gave me goosebumps when I heard that because I was just like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean it's older than 1,000 years old? Like, and like, I still like that they gave the mystery of like how his dad came and collected them. So it'd be really cool if they could dive into that sometime.
no, they probably will. Trust
Um,
me, that
oh, for
suspense is
sure.
killing us.
Also, I got to make a quick comment about Shang and Katie, Aquafina's character.
Yeah.
Um, I think we got some new storytellers of the MCU. You know that one guy from Ant-Man that's always like the way he
Yeah.
stories. I
Yeah.
was like, uh-oh, we got a new storyteller up in the MCU because I
Mm-hmm.
love that they did that whole thing of how they started with the friends getting together and their friend told them to grow up a bit and like, they ultimately did. And they tried to share that with their friends. She's just like, oh, come on. And of course, Wong coming in, it was just like, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
no,
proof.
I know. And to be honest, like he's a funny character as well. So he's gonna add more like funny lines. And I can't wait to see his interactions with the other Marvel characters or
Oh
the
yeah, dude,
Avengers.
I'm very excited.
Like I'm so excited. Like um I just
He
can't
said
wait.
he wanted to do a cross, like, or I guess a crossover. He said he wants to team up with Spider-Man for a movie.
Yeah.
Like to be
I mean, I
Shang-Chi.
doubt that's gonna
And I'm
happen,
like,
but
yo, that would be sick.
that would be.
Because
Uh
the character's only like 25, 26 in the movie, I think.
no, he can be in that role for a good minute. For a good minute.
Absolutely. Let's hope so too.
Yeah. So, all in all, what do you rate the movie?
Definitely high. I want to say 9, but I feel like that might be just giving too much. I'm probably gonna
Because
put
it
it
just
like,
it just came out.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with like an 8,
Mm-hmm. All right.
eight and a
See,
half maybe, but like a soft 8.5.
like I'll give it for me. This is probably gonna be a low number, bro. It's it's a 6.5, but have the potential to increase once I watch it again. Because yeah, it it was unfortunate that I wasn't able to stay awake um through the middle of it. But again, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna watch it again. It's probably gonna be like an 8 if I watch it again. So
Yeah, I just give it an 8 because man, it was just good, top down. Like I said, I think it's one of the best origin movies that they've done. I thought it set up a lot of
yeah,
stuff,
it's one of the best. I agree with that.
but yeah, it's got a lot going on. I'll be excited to hear your thoughts once you like get to see it over again. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing I want to mention real quick too is like the final after cut or after credit scene.
Mhm.
where his sister has now taken over the Ten Rings, like the like
Organization, yeah.
the organization. And he was like, "Oh yeah, she's just cleaning up." Yeah, she's cleaning up, all right, cleaning up the world. But I'm actually pumped to see her take over that because I think she's not going to be using it for like bad. Like I think she's going to work this group as like sort of like a secret army for like good. Like it's going to come back around to like save Shang-Chi's butt or just like even just like help out in some sort of big battle probably.
Hopefully, you know, I think there was either talks or maybe I was thinking it myself of maybe her joining the Secret Avengers, the one you were talking about, where
Yo, I was wondering that too.
maybe,
The Dark Avengers, that's
yeah,
what it
the
was.
Dark Avengers, yeah,
The Dark Avengers. Yeah, that was a thought I had too, but that didn't happen. But I mean, the potential for
yeah,
it's
the potential
there
is there.
probably.
It's probably there because
But
that woman's probably gonna know she's there and
oh,
have
she's
the
gotta.
yeah.
Uh
So
oh, also we didn't mention the Mandarin, the connection with the Mandarin.
oh yeah. My bad, guys. Probably gonna have to edit this. Um, yeah, the how they brought that back, it was really surprising because I didn't even know. Like it was just like, okay, oh, I
Yeah,
remember
I didn't
you.
either.
It's like I
Yeah, like
remember you.
they mentioned it, and I was like, oh, cool. They talked about it.
Yeah.
But what was better is that he had this dude in the back because he was going to execute him. But then because he just put on this play, they were like, "Oh, he's amusing. Let's keep him." And
That was
then
funny.
he's just got that little mythical creature with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just staring at this thing, and he's just like, "Oh, that's Morris. You guys can see him too.
Yeah, no, he was
Awesome."
he's a yeah, he Ben Kingsley, yeah, he's perfect for that role. And he's funny as hell. Um
So
and the
great.
fact that I knew even though that uh that creature didn't have no like face or no anything, he was still cute for some reason.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, dang, that thing is
Yeah.
adorable.
And the funniest part was like he's on the floor in the battlefield and the creature comes to him and start waking him up. He's like, I'm playing dead, you idiot. Like that was
Like,
hilarious.
start playing the role.
Yeah.
The thing
That was
just
hilarious.
it
I ain't
just
gonna
flips
lie.
over.
How was your experience in the movie theaters? Like, cause for me, you have a lot of people like cheering, laughing, and stuff like that. Did you have that same experience?
Yeah, but I gotta say, overall, I have pretty good experiences with theaters, like where it's not too much of people like getting like rowdy or like talking through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, like you can settle down. Like, it's all appropriate, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
laughs hit and like the cheer or like not even cheering, but just like the whoa factor of it all, like with the action. They all hit, so like it was fun. It wasn't a packed theater per se.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it like midday or something like that, so I figured it was probably going to be way more packed like in the evening, because I mean, what, that movie made $90 million over the
Yeah, I
week.
know.
Oh
I
my
know.
god. And then all because that happened, uh Sony was just like, yo, move up Venom 2 now. People are trying to see movies. Joke is, nobody's trying to see your movie though, dog. You know what? That's harsh. That's harsh.
That is
Because I'm probably going to see that myself. So I just don't think it's going to be that. I wasn't impressed by the. Anyways, I'm diverging from the path.
No, that's fine. All right, guys, we're gonna talk a little bit about the controversies that has been surrounding Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. And basically certain areas, Beijing, China, are deciding, they might not show the movie because they have a kind of like a racial archetype. Um, or it had a racial archetype in that movie. Well, for Beijing, China, China doesn't want to show it all together. But I feel with that, I think they should show it in those areas because I don't, for me personally, I don't feel they have any racial archetypes that disrespectful towards Asians, where to a point where they can't watch or they feel disrespected. And those China, as for the most part, is like the biggest market for movies, and to not hit China will kind of be like a blow to their box office hits. So yeah.
Yeah. So of course, I didn't know about the controversy until Elijah here told me about it before we got started, and I was kind of baffled because just like you said, saw it. I didn't think there was a lick of racist like undertones or anything in it. If anything, it was some great representation, and it was awesome. Like, it was just this, you just got to see this Asian superhero, action hero that, like, I don't know, there's just nothing like, I don't know, I don't even know what to say. Like, I just think it's ridiculous that, and of course, like we kind of found out as we were digging, like it all relates to a racist symbol that was created called Fu Manchu. And I guess like Shang-Chi, whenever it was created, had that character in it, or like it had racist tones to it. But like,
Yeah.
The thing is, most things, especially in America, have a racist beginning, but we got to figure out how to grow it out of it, because the thing is, Shang-Chi's a pretty great character.
Yeah.
And to waste it because you don't like its beginnings, I mean, I get it. Don't like its beginnings. It's not great that it started as a racist thing or anything, but like, it's not anymore.
Yeah.
They grew past it. They figured out a way to make it work and not be like hurtful or offensive.
Yeah.
So overall, very confused by the ban, or the wanting to ban. And yeah, I kind of think that they're doing themselves a disservice to want to ban it, just because it's a great movie. And like, I don't know, just like, I don't really see a need to like censor that content. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's like so many other things that you could decide to censor. Like several movies come to mind, especially
no, they probably
like
have. Trust me,
they're Schreier. But like, yeah.
No, this movie, no, I don't think it's used to censor. I don't think and even if they do, Marvel probably still gonna be like, we're still gonna have this character in our arsenal and create other movies. If y'all don't want to show it, oh well.
Yeah, because like,
well.
Yeah, like the character works, it's great. And like we talked about, there was so much great character development that like it leaves you wanting to know more about the guy and see where he goes. Especially from the post-credit scene where they just get ingratiated into this whole thing now, and they're just kind of like, all right, I guess like we're Avengers now, let's do this. The
only thing now is, again, if China doesn't release this movie, it's not going to make $1 billion worldwide. Like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, solo movies, $1 billion. If China don't pick it up or anything like that, it's probably gonna make half a billion and whatnot. Unfortunately, I mean, it's probably still gonna make its budget and probably make money off this movie for sure. But yeah,
I hope that it does well financially, just because like like a lot of people are saying, like, you know, people do want to go back to the movies,
And people are going back to movies.
but
Listen.
they're going back for what they want to see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because trust me, everybody was talking about this movie. Everybody was talking about this movie.
Yeah, dude. It was nuts. Like I like for the first time in a long time, I almost came across spoilers for a movie, and I was like, "No, haven't seen that in a minute." When Black Widow came out, never saw a spoiler, and like most like big movies, I think since then, never saw a single spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
Shang-Chi, man, got so close.
See, the only time I come close seeing a spoiler is when I watch a movie, a Marvel movie specifically, and I have to see like how many end credits it has, or if it has any. So I'll go back before the movie ends, or before I go to the movies to watch it. I'll be like, okay, end credits. And I read just like the first paragraph because I don't want to read any more. And I'm like, okay, 2. All right, cool. Let me make me stay at the end. So yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I appreciated this time that the final end credit scene wasn't something like wasteful.
I know. I feel yeah. It was
Because the ones
meaningful.
that come to mind was like one was like a Spider-Man one where like, you know, and it's just like, so you waited till all the way at the end of the credits. What'd you do? And it was just like, yeah, thanks. Just proving the point that you literally control us just to see a little extra content.
Yeah.
And then
I'm gonna read that too.
And had one where the final one was just the giant ant just playing drums. And it was just like,
yeah, that's why sometimes I just walk out, like, because I'm just like, I'll read it on the internet and read the article, and they'll explain it to me, and I'm like, okay, thank goodness I ain't spend another 5 minutes watching the credits to see this crap. Like, come on now.
Yeah, dude. My curiosity piques me too much that I'm just like, oh, I'll just stay and just wait.
And you'll say back down, I'm not gonna watch another Marvel movie, and then you watch the next one. Yeah, that's all. That's all how it is. Oh wow. All right, guys. So thank you so much, guys, for listening to us. Comment below. Tell us how you think the movie went. Give us a rating. And can't wait for the next Marvel movie. Peace.
Peace.